metal strings, colorful wood, and horsehair. A regular person hearing the combination of these three things into one object would probably assume it's some bizarre construction project, but for me it becomes one of my biggest passions. 9 years ago I started playing the violin, and 2 years ago I switched to the viola. I'm not gonna lie, the reason why I switched was because there are less violas and their appeal for college apps is much higher, because good violists are actually quite hard to find. But now, 2 years later, I'm extremely happy I made the switch for different reasons. It's allowed me to assume a leadership role in my orchestra, and I was able to create a quartet with 3 people who have become a few of my closest friends.
We've now been playing together for about 2 years, and recently we just went to a state competition and won first among 20 other groups.
Who knows, maybe I'll become a professional violist in the future, that is, if I start practicing for once. The place I chose is the Kearney Mesa in Claremont area. Now, I wasn't born here, I've never lived here, and I didn't even know the exact name of this area until a couple years ago. Because let's be real, we all just call this place Convoy. That leads me into why I chose this place. I've lived in Del Mar and Carmel Valley for the last decade of my life, and as American as I might pretend to be, I can't exactly walk down the street and experience my parents' native culture. The closest I can get to tasting what I enjoy eating in China is on Convoy. And sadly that oftentimes isn't even close, but you gotta take what you can get. You can't beat Convoy Boba though. I also really enjoy Korean barbecue and ramen. And apart from LA and San Francisco, there isn't really anywhere else in the US that can rival the Asian culture here. I'm sure a lot of you out there know these stores also. I for one was dragged here constantly as a kid. Apart from Convoy, I also regularly come to this area for viola lessons, quartet rehearsals, and orchestra rehearsals. Claremont technically isn't home, but it might as well be with all the time I spend here. And money, too. Next, for my person, I chose my music teacher. And when I say music teacher, I actually don't mean my viola teacher, but my piano teacher. I've also been playing piano for 8 years, all 8 years being under the tutelage of Mrs. Rena Livshin, or as I have known her, Rena. After 30 years of teaching, she's become one of the top piano teachers in the county, and she's heavily pursued by many to be their teacher. Even though her husband contracted Alzheimer's a couple years ago, she continues to fight on and continue her dedication to her students, including me. Rena is known as one of the quote-unquote nicer Russian teachers, and I can always sense her concern for my health and well-being. My real grandparents lived thousands of miles away in China, and her sketchy political beliefs and constant fussing over my eating habits has definitely seen her step into that role. I've learned much more than just music from her. I've learned about life and some of its greatest qualities. She's much more than just my teacher, she's family, and she's one of my best friends. I kind of cheated on my so-called event because the summer technically isn't an actual event, but there's so many events that have become part of who I am, and almost all of them happen during the summer.
For your estuary bones, finding peace don't come to everyone I know. So I will love in this
Personally, one of the main things I look forward to in the summer are summer camps. You get to meet people from all over the country, sometimes even from across the world, and it's just an experience you can't get anywhere else.
Well, I know I have lived just a wrinkle of my life, and I hear so many times it'll be
The only bad part is the sadness that comes with leaving.
Please forgive if I don't walk off that plank stuck in your eye.
I have acquaintances / friends from places as far as Hawaii and Shanghai that I never would have met otherwise.
I've got my life to love, and I'm here.
Everything in my life comes together during the summer, and I finally get to relax and really just enjoy life, whether it be at the beach, on a trip, or just hanging out with friends. I can't even begin to talk about the benefits of a lack of homework.
Feels like you're giving up your
The end.
soul. I'd rather give it freely to the ones that I call